In this lesson, we're going to describe the importance and purpose of functional groups in organic reactions, and we will begin to look at some of the features we can use to identify and name functional groups in compounds. First, we need to look at what a functional group is. These are additional atoms or multiple bonds in a molecule. So rather than having just carbons and hydrogens, we see that we have oxygens or double or triple bonds. We can also see other elements such as nitrogen or sulfur in a molecule, which gives it specific properties. The question that we ask is, why do we need functional groups? When we look at alkanes, so our hydrocarbons that have just carbon and hydrogen, we see that they undergo combustion, so they burn, which is useful if we're burning to get fuel, such as on a stove, or octane gas, which is in your car, but they don't really undergo many other reactions, and so they're useful for one very specific purpose, but not for much else. Functional groups add the ability to react and form different compounds. So for example, making ibuprofen, we have to combine multiple compounds together to form ibuprofen. In order for that to happen, the reactants needed to have certain functional groups so that they can react in a certain way to form the desired product. So let's look at some examples of molecules that have functional groups. So Prozac, which is the commercial name for fluoxetine, has multiple functional groups present. We see some of these involve multiple bonds, some involve nitrogen, oxygen, or even halogens. Zyrtec, also known as cetirizine, has multiple bonds, halogens, nitrogens, and oxygens in a couple of different formats. So we need to be able to form molecules that have functional groups in them, and we have to do that from smaller molecules that have the same or similar functional groups. In this lesson, we looked at some of the general properties of functional groups. In our in-class activity, we will go into more detail about how to identify and name specific types of functional groups.